Welcome to Inside the Nest, episode 8. I can't believe we're moving on this quickly here. We've got a really exciting episode planned for you today. Cody Jamieson, Halifax Thunderbirds captain, joins, and the most recent first round pick in the 2020 NLL entry draft, Ethan Riggs, will also join us. But up first is Jammer. So, Cody Jamieson, thank you so much for taking the time to appear on episode 8 here.
Thanks for having me, Tyson. I didn't know if I'd ever get the chance.
Yeah, we're saving the best for later in the season, I want to say. But Cody, you've been quite the busy guy. Lots on the go as of late. I know the cancellation of the season has to be tough, but you've managed to stay quite busy. Like I said, a new podcast that has an episode under your belt, Coffee with the Boys. Can you tell me a little bit about that project?
Yeah, it's just been a fun little thing with Kyle Jackson and Luke Magnan and the media guru himself, Charlie Ragusa. Um, it was Coffee with Kyle, and I was an avid listener, but he kind of wanted to rebranch and add me and Luke with him. So we were more than happy to join him. We're just kind of there to support, I guess, and KJ's really the mastermind and does all the work.
It's really cool to give a voice to the players and have a players only podcast essentially. What's kind of the goal moving forward with this?
Well, we wouldn't necessarily call ourselves just a lacrosse podcast where, you know, I would think after the first two episodes here, I think we talk, 75% about non-lacrosse stuff. So we just kind of like to get together and talk, and we'll see where this goes. We had our first guest on last night. The podcast will be released on Thursday, so look forward to that. And we're just looking to see how far it will take us, really.
I've talked a bit about how busy you've been. You've just been named in Ontario Junior A Lacrosse League governor as well. What impact would you like to make with that league there?
Well, I think the news of another junior A league really took my community by surprise. Um, the fact that some of our boys wouldn't be competing for the Minto Cup, really shook me and shook a lot of my peers, as well as the group of kids who are currently playing junior and striving to win a Minto Cup, like the teams that previously. I've happened to win one. I went to four and won one, so I know how hard it is to win. Um, and a lot of guys, didn't get the chance to win. I was only the second team from Six Nations here to win. Well, I was a part of the second team to win, and you know, a lot of people, wish that they could have had that opportunity um, to not only play but to win a Minto Cup. With that new league, all the support to them. Obviously, the more lacrosse, the better. Hopefully, more kids will stay playing lacrosse, after midget and after minor lacrosse. But um, just for the fact of our community not being able to play in the Minto Cup, I had to move forward and make sure that the team stayed in the OLA and make sure that Six Nations will be competing for the Minto Cup for a long time.
Cody, while we're on this topic, what do you feel that the sport of lacrosse has to do in order to grow, just across the board? Between field, box, the junior level, the minor level, and the professional level.
I think we just need to get eyes on it. Not too many people that watch lacrosse um, think that it's boring or think that it sucks. I think a lot of a lot of people who see it for the first time, they become infatuated with it, and they become you know fans. Maybe not diehard fans, but they become fans, and they're really intrigued and they want to see more. So if we can get more sport, more people playing the sport, more people giving it a the old college try, I think that'll go a long way.
You got to see that firsthand in Halifax this past season, I guess, in 2020, which was unfortunately cut short. But what was the experience like there, seeing the game kind of blossom and the city of Halifax really, taking to the sport?
Yeah, that was amazing to see, and to be a part of. We felt like we were and to have, the fan support that we had in our first year was remarkable. Where a lot of us came from with our former team, we had some good fans, but they weren't, really loud, or they weren't really into it, or we didn't really have that distinct home floor advantage. Where I feel right from the very first game in Halifax, we knew that we had a distinct home floor advantage that could rival, any in the league, all the other, big time clubs that people talk about, like Buffalo or Calgary, Colorado, everybody with a big loud fan. I think Halifax really, set ourselves up and put us on the map when it comes to, home floor advantage for fan atmosphere.
Cody, back in 2017, actually, I think it was 2018, the Rochester Nighthawks went on that run to the finals. And I was lucky enough to be able to cover the team and be around the club. And there was just something special about that roster that year. You could really feel it. There was an aura about the club. I've noticed a bit of a similar atmosphere there. And when I was on hand for the draft back in September, I could really feel it was just a family that is being built with Halifax. What can you tell me about the mood, the vibe in the dressing room, and just amongst the people in the organization?
Yeah, I think Kurt has done a, terrific job, you know, putting the pieces together to make us, feel that comfortable. Um, our time in Rochester, we had some very good teams and some very close teams, but I feel, the move definitely helped our team come together even more than it already was. We were one of the fortunate teams where we fly together every almost every week. So going to Halifax, we would all meet at the airport, and that just gave us that much longer together, without any distractions. When we would drive to Rochester, obviously we would drive with the same group of guys every week, and sleep in the, have our own roommates, the same roommates every week. So it just became kind of mundane and kind of scheduled. Where with the everybody meeting at the airport, having lunch with everybody, getting to know everybody a little bit more. And then once you get to Halifax, going out to eat, you don't have your own car or anything, so you travel in bunches, and that just improved our dynamic. But with the group of beauties that we got in there, it's always fun, and there's never a dull moment. Whether it's Withers chirping somebody, or somebody, or a guy like Bushi chirping him. It's always fun, and it's always lighthearted. And especially, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, Coach Akersi, he definitely keeps the mood light. Maybe not at practice where people are calling him Captain Blood, but um, during shoot arounds, playing music during shoot arounds, keeping it light, having fun. Also being one of the guys, chirping guys, and challenging guys to shoot offs and things like that. I think how this group is just fun to be around.
A pretty successful inaugural season in Halifax. The team was on a serious run, picked by some to go on to win the championship if it would have happened. Again, was cut short. But what do you feel that the team might be able to clean up in order to make a serious run at a championship in 2022?
Yeah, so relatively, we're still pretty young. Maybe not myself and Scott Campbell, but and well, I'd be and Banesh, but for the most part, we're still getting our feet wet. Some of our guys, uh, we we were fortunate to go to the championship a few years back in that draft class's rookie year, but they still got all their years ahead of them. So I think one of the biggest and one of the best things is that our core of guys are still very, very young. And it takes a little bit to learn in this league. A lot of people, there's a lot of great players, and a lot of people have won many championships, and so you just can't come in and expect to be great right away. I think after these past few years, we've gone, this group has gone to the championship, then we've also missed the playoffs. So I think we're right on the verge and right on the cusp of doing something great.
Cody, with this team, you've seen clips of you addressing the troops really in a huddle, and it's something that's pretty special to watch. You really do have the attention of everyone on the team. What is it that you're telling the group, game in and game out, be it in the dressing room or in that huddle pregame?
Yeah, it's always different. Sometimes it's a joke, sometimes it's a story. Usually just ending it on telling them that I love them and telling them that we're going to go out there and we're going to work and everybody's going to do their job.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the inclusion and empowerment program, which you've been involved with. A great initiative by the Thunderbirds. It's great to give people a platform to speak up and for others to be able to listen. You've been a part of some weekly calls. What's one thing that's maybe jumped out to you or kind of surprised you with what you've heard on these calls and in these conversations?
Um, I guess I'm just surprised on the the amount of work being put in Halifax and the surrounding areas to grow the game of lacrosse. There's a lot of organizations and a lot of people, putting in hours and hours, because of their love of lacrosse and trying to grow lacrosse and trying to get more people playing, sticks in more hands. Having kids with that same smile that we all grew up on. Learning the game, learning how to pass, learning how to catch, and even down to learning how to pick up a ball. So I think that was the biggest thing where we felt like there wasn't very many lacrosse programs or there wasn't very many lacrosse players in Halifax or in Nova Scotia. But I quickly saw that there's a fair amount and it's only growing. And so I think that's one thing that the Thunderbirds organization does a great job at, where we're definitely helping and we want to help grow the game in Nova Scotia.
I've talked about how busy you've been, obviously, with the inclusion and empowerment program. You spoke at LaxCon back in January. You're always involved at the grassroots level. Again, now becoming a governor in Ontario Junior A lacrosse. Why is it important for you to kind of have your hand in so many different places of the game of lacrosse? And what legacy do you want to leave behind when you kind of walk away from the game, maybe just as a player?
Yeah, I just I owe everything to lacrosse. I owe everything I've got. It gave me a college education. I met all my best friends and most of my friends through the game. Um, gave what went to university, had a lot of good times, got to travel the world. So everything almost everything I had world is from picking up the stick. And I just want to give that same opportunity to as many youth and as many people as I can. Um, it was special, and I've told this story before, but growing up, we didn't have too much, and I didn't have too many friends, but my lacrosse stick, was kind of like my best friend, where I played with it every day. I took it to the grocery store. I slept with it. If we went to for a walk in the park, or if we went to a festival, my stick came with me, and I just cradled and I just played with it and had fun. And if that's what another kid needs, maybe he just needs to feel it and feel that power and that medicine in it.
Cody, we've got Ethan Riggs, who is going to be joining on here in just a little bit. I want to know, from one first round pick to another, what is maybe some of the pressures that come with being a first round pick in the National Lacrosse League? And what would you tell him? What advice would you give to him?
Well, I would just tell him, pressure is a privilege. It's you're very privileged if you have to feel that pressure, and not everybody gets to feel that way. Um, and to just keep doing what he's been doing. He's been playing lacrosse long enough. He knows how to play the game, obviously, or else he wouldn't have been drafted that high. Just keep playing the game. Work hard, and he maybe hang around, maybe eat lunch with Graham Hossack, lunch and dinner with Graham Hossack, and see if you can get in that mind a little bit.
Cody, I gave fans the opportunity to submit their questions, and we're live right now. So, fans, if you're watching, you do have questions for Cody Jamieson or for Ethan Riggs, please submit them now. But I have one here from Rob Josie, and he says, will you play in the PLL this summer, or will any of your teammates? So, you planning on staying involved in the field game?
It's been a few years. Um, it's been a few years since I played. I think I had maybe a 7 year, 8 year MLL career. Um, I don't know. Maybe if a team wants to take a chance on a veteran, maybe I'll play. But I bought the pass last year, and I watched a lot of Water Dogs games for Jake Withers, and we all we're very happy to see him out there and support him, and all our guys. We got a few guys who played and a few guys coming over after the MLL. So um, even if I don't play, I'm looking forward to watching them.
Nikki Keach says, Lily would love to know if she is still your princess, and she can't wait to see you and the guys when you come to Rochester and play. So that's another question we've got here.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually looking forward to seeing everybody, all my old friends, and all my friends and family, and extended family in Rochester. Unfortunately, the season canceled right before back-to-back weekends there, but I was definitely looking forward to getting back to Rochester and putting on a show for them.
Okay, one more question here. Travis, I want to get this right. I think it's Pelon, but he's asking if you miss him. And I think that goes back to a game in Saskatchewan where I think you were chirping at him from the penalty box and you sprayed him. I think he was chirping at you,
Yeah,
I should say, in the crowd.
yeah, that was one of my funnier moments because he was. I love chirping. I love people chirping me. Um,
Yeah.
it doesn't get in my head as much as people try to think so, and I just enjoy it. I think it's funny, and I laugh about it in the moment, and I can laugh about it after. But that time, I just kind of gave a spray of my water bottle through the crack in the window, and it got him pretty good. And so I think the NLL made a rule after that where if
No
anybody
more.
gets caught doing it, they get a fine or something. But um, it was fun. Yeah.
Hey, listen, it made for a great picture. So it's a pretty cool moment in time, and we're talking about it here today. So all in good fun, and I think Travis, feels the same way, just having some fun there. We kind of got to this earlier, Cody, but maybe aside from lacrosse, what are a few of the things that you like about Halifax and playing there? And that comes from Jeff Talon.
First thing that came to mind that I liked about Halifax is definitely the Dornairs. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Dornair fan. I actually came to Halifax in 2007 for the World Championships, and that's where I kind of fell in love with them. Me and Sid were eating, one sometimes two a day when we were there. So and since 2007, we've always talked about, like, let's just take a road trip and let's just drive back there just to get Dornair, and then we'll drive back home. Um, whatever, however long that would be, 26 hours or something like that. So uh, I've definitely always wanted to come back, and definitely, you know, being able to play there this time around. Well, the last time I did, but for the hometown team is really special.
So should we be getting in contact with King Donaire about a Cody Jamieson sponsorship? Maybe have you as the
I,
face of King Donaire?
well, I got a T-shirt. They gave our whole team
Or
T-shirts, so I made
Donaire
a trade
King.
and got one for Sid too. Yeah, Dornair King did.
Donaire King. See, I messed it up. That's my fault. I need to get to Halifax and experience one of these. I have been, but never had Donaire King. So that's on my list of things to do. Cody, I mean, we could talk lacrosse for so long. I do appreciate you coming on here for episode 8 of Inside the Nest. I'm sorry for keeping it so long, but I'm sure
I like the
we'll.
number. I like the number 8.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I had that in mind as I
Yeah.
was scheduling the shows. But really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table. We've all been waiting so long for lacrosse, and I know that you've got quite a bit left in the tank, and it's going to be quite an exciting 2022 season here. So thanks again, Cody.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm really looking forward to getting back.
Cody Jamieson, the Halifax Thunderbirds captain, right there. As I said, Cody, a great leader on the turf, off of the lacrosse field as well. Done so much for the game of lacrosse, and it was great to have him on and kind of hear from him. And we get from one first round pick to the next, and that is Ethan Riggs. He was selected 11th overall by the Thunderbirds in the 2020 NLL entry draft back in September. And Ethan, pleased to have you on here and nice to chat for the first time. We got a frozen screen here. I can't hear Ethan. We're just going to wait 1 second and see if we can get the connection back. Ethan stands at about 6'4" now and 215 pounds. So quite the big rig coming in, a defensive specialist, if you will. I've had the chance to watch a couple of his clips, and he really does lay the body quite hard, and that's got a lot of people on the Thunderbirds excited about having him. There we go. We got him up on the screen now.
Yeah, sorry
Ethan,
about
thanks
that.
for joining. It's all good, my friend. It's all good. Welcome. Let's go back to the start of your time with the Thunderbirds. What was the feeling like when you heard your name called, being selected 11th overall by the team back in September?
It was surreal, to be honest with you. Like when I first heard my name being called, I wasn't expecting it at all. Just seeing the projections and how I was supposed to go somewhere in the second round, and then hearing your name called in the first round by a team that, well, where I have family out east as well. It was crazy and just so surreal for me.
So you got family out east. That was my next question. Have you been to the city of Halifax, and what's your experience been
I
like there?
I have been just for a couple days, and honestly, it's so beautiful out there. Like I love the city of Halifax. It's so nice. Didn't do too much there when I went there. It was just more of a stop for me. But when I was there, it was a lot of fun for sure.
When you hear your name called, you got to be thinking immediately. I know it was probably a little bit far away. I guess the team was expecting to play come November, December. But what are you thinking about there, just in terms of your preparation for the season and what you need to do to compete at the professional level?
Uh, Honestly, it was more of a thought of I need to get in shape and I need to get in shape fast. Because I know these guys don't play around. And I know it's going to be a huge jump from junior A. And I don't know. I just like it was just working out every day for me to just keep in shape, right? It's almost so hard to get ready to actually play in the professional leagues. You can train all you want, but nothing's like actually playing in it.
Ethan, when you look at this team, when it comes time for training camp, what are you setting your sights on? Is the goal to be on that opening night roster?
Yeah, for sure. It'd be awesome to get on that opening night roster for sure. I mean, like, even if I don't, I'm gonna keep working hard and harder to eventually make that roster. I know I'll never stop working. Uh, Even if I get that opening night roster, I'm gonna keep working harder and harder.
You've certainly shown that over the years playing lacrosse. You've climbed from the junior C ranks to the junior B ranks and then to junior A, playing with the Burlington Chiefs. You've taken a bit of an unconventional route to the professional level. Why junior C? Why junior B? And then making the jump to the A level?
Well, when I first was, I played Oakville for my whole minor career, and then I had to go to Hamilton, and no one really knew who I was. So it was kind of a fresh slate for me. But when I got and tried out for Junior B, I didn't make the initial squad, so I went down to Junior C. I played a season with Junior C and AP'd a lot of games with Junior B. So my first year at Junior C, we actually won the Meredith Cup. That was with Brantford, and then I moved up to Junior B, and then I think I AP'd one game with Junior A, and then the next year I went to Junior A. So I definitely got a taste of every level. That's for sure.
And what has that kind of taught you, just climbing those ranks?
Um, honestly, it's taught me to. It's almost like respect for each level. Like each level brings something that the other level doesn't. In junior C, it's more of a tough, gritty, down to the bone, a lot of hitting game. Junior B, it's a little bit of both speed and hitting, and then junior A, it's just a different beast in itself. It's a lot faster, stronger, and then now it's to make the jump to professional, I guess.
We've talked about training and you saying that you need to stay on top of it. I had quite the fun chat today with your coach in Junior A for the Burlington Chiefs, and that's Danny McCray, who's also the captain of the New York Riptide. Lots of fun. I had no idea that he had known you as long as he did, and that you guys actually do some training together. So, producer John's got the clip ready to go. We'll
Oh
take a
no.
look at that. Let's go back to Riggsy and just kind of looking forward to the future. Let's say he's on that opening night roster for the Halifax Thunderbirds and you're taking him on playing for the Riptide. What are you saying to him in warm up before you guys go head to head?
Oh man. I don't know. I might just have to remind him of a couple of workouts where we're, doing our one rep max, or we do a few that are timed, and I just got to remind him how many years I have on him. I think I got a 12 or 13 years on him, but the old guy still beats him in a couple of those races. So it doesn't have to be much. Just going to plant the seed just a little bit there, and just watch it unravel.
What's the
Oh.
feeling after hearing that?
Well, I mean, I guess you gotta let the old man win once in a while, right? So I mean, if he tries to get in my head with that, I'll just respond back with, yeah, you know what, the old man, let him win a couple times.
What would it feel like to take on your, a guy that you've kind of grown up with? He mentioned there that his younger brother is the same age as you, and then you're coaching in Junior A at the professional level. That's got to feel pretty crazy.
Yeah, it does for sure. Just knowing Danny as long as I have, and then seeing him grow from Calgary to New York and all that stuff, and just having the thought of eventually playing against him, it's crazy, to be honest with you. And even like just some of the players I grew up watching, other than Danny, like, and being able to maybe play against them is just, it's so mind boggling for me, and it'd just be awesome.
Ethan, we are going to be launching a new segment with Halifax Thunderbirds TV, and that is called The Breakdown. So I get together with Pat Gregoire, Thunderbirds analyst, and we kind of take a closer look at prospects or, players in the organization and just break things down, really. So we got together, we shot our first episode, and we wanted to give everyone a taste of that tonight. So producer John, he's got that clip as well. We'll kind of keep you on the line and we'll get a first take from you about what you think about Pat's analysis of your play. Here's the clip.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
All right, Pat, with the cancellation of the 2021 NLL season, we haven't really had the chance to kind of dive in and take a closer look at some of the players that were picked in the 2020 NLL entry draft by the Halifax Thunderbirds. So we're going to break it down just a little bit today. I want to start by taking a look at Ethan Riggs, picked 11th overall in the 2020 draft. Just what does he add to this team? Defensive coach Billy D. Smith, really high on this player, as is the rest of the organization.
Absolutely. He went even as far to say that this is a guy that has the potential to be Graham Hossick without that offensive upside. And what he means by that is when he played with the Burlington Chiefs in Junior A, he's picking guys up and throwing to the ground. He's a dominant physical force. He's a big body that continues to grow and get more athletic. He's not just a big, slow body. He's fast. He can move. And he's a guy that has a very high ceiling. I don't know if he's going to break onto that roster right away and make an impact, but this is a project that I know Billy D. Smith is excited to work with, and one day we can see him being a huge impact player for this T-Birds roster.
Now, one of the things that really jumps out to me about this player is he had the chance to develop at the junior C level, then B, and then A. And we've seen another player in Graham Hossick kind of take that same route. Just what does this say about his player and maybe his trajectory?
I think it just shows you that he's a guy that continues to get better and better, and he is willing to get better and better. He didn't hang it up after getting playing junior C, playing junior B. He's worked all his way up to junior A. He even played in the Arena Lacrosse League. He's a guy that wants to get better, and he continues to get better. He knows what he needs to get better at. He knows he's got that physical body. He knows he's strong and athletic. So it's the other parts of the game that he's working on to being that well-rounded defender. And I think you nailed it exactly. He's a guy that started in junior C and worked his way all the way up, much like a Graham Hossick. So another correlation there. And I mean, Tyson, if you get compared to Graham Hossick, even if you're just in the same sentence of the guy, that's very, very high praise.
We throw the term generational talent around quite often. Graham Hossick may actually be that, as some have proclaimed him as the #1 player in the league. But let's kind of move on past that. We'll take a look forward to the 2022 season. The Halifax Thunderbirds have a ton of depth, Pat. There's no denying that, especially on the back end. Right through the roster, really. Ethan Riggs, just what does he need to do in camp in order to make the opening night roster?
I think he's just got to be himself, got to play that strong, physical, dominant role. Yes, you're a young kid coming into the National Lacrosse League, going up against grown men like Cody Jamieson, Ryan Benesh, but just prove that you are ready to play at that next level. Don't try to be this other player that you're not. Don't try to be a transition stud, match the speed of Tyson Bell. Try to be the player that this organization, Kurt Stiers and Micah Kersey and Billy D. Smith were so high on. Do the things that you can, and I know he is capable of doing that. And I think he has to come into this camp knowing, listen, you're not going to log the minutes that a guy like Graham Hossick, Tyson Bell, as I just mentioned, someone who's coming into the organization, or even a new player like David Brock. You're going to be a rookie. You're going to have to earn your floor time, and that starts on day one when he steps foot on training camp turf.
Well, thanks a lot, Pat Gregoire. There's one thing we have no doubt about. Halifax Thunderbirds fans really excited to see what the big rig can do on the turf. There you have it. We're kind of putting Pat on the hot seat here, I guess. Riggsy, what do you think of his analysis there?
Oh, wow. If I didn't feel the pressure before, I sure feel it now. That was just amazing to hear. But yeah, no, now I definitely feel the pressure for sure. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That's crazy.
Have you got the chance to watch much of Graham Hossick, in the game of lacrosse? Because there are those comparisons that are kind of being thrown around right now, and how does that make you feel?
Like I said, it's a lot of pressure, for sure. But I've watched a little bit of him, and he's just such a good player. And when Pat said he's like him without the offensive ability, I for sure see that. I'm not known for my offense for sure, but I am known for that big presence. It just all I could think about is pressure. But I know I can rise to the occasion and turn that pressure into something special.
Well, the cancellation of the season has been tough, but that does give you some more time to, get even more game ready for the 2022 season. Hopefully your rookie season here with the club. Everyone's really excited to see you take the turf. Really appreciate you coming on this episode, and it's been a blast to chat with you, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been awesome.
Of course. That's Ethan Riggs, your first round pick in the 2022 NLL entry draft. That was back in September. Now our eyes are kind of moving forward to the next draft, which will take place in September. Again, we're going to be doing some draft profiles with halifaxthunderbirds.com and Thunderbirds TV. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We want to know which players to kind of be on the lookout for as we approach September in that 2021 draft. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in. It's been great having you on here, submitting your questions. We do thank you so much. Once again, big thanks to Cody Jamieson for coming on. Ethan Riggs again, our producer John Catalano did a great job. Charlie Ragusa, Avery Light, the rest of the Halifax Thunderbirds organization. It's fun to be able to still create content and put it out for all of you, the fans. Thanks for joining us here for episode 8 of Inside the Nest. You can catch all the episodes after this one's done. We'll be sure to put it up, but on Spotify and wherever you may stream your podcasts. Listen while you're maybe driving to work, you're at the gym, and you are just kind of craving some Halifax Thunderbirds talk. They'll all be up there. And in 2 weeks' time, we will go live with Inside the Nest episode 9. That is 2 Tuesdays from now. Same time, 8 p.m. Atlantic, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. for all those on the West Coast. I'm Tyson Geik. Once again, thanking you for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.